If you really want to create custom shapes from shapes that have been provided for you, all you really need to do is to click on your brush here, and you can draw some shapes such as a rectangle, an ellipse, a polyline, which we'll talk about in a second, and the line. Now, once again, these shapes are already drawn. All you have to do is establish the size of it when you click and drag. So I'll go ahead and choose rectangle first, and then I'll click and drag my mouse to draw out the rectangle. And it's as simple as that. If I want to modify it further, all I have to do is grab my selection tool and select it, and then I can go ahead and reshape it. I can squash, I can stretch it, I can rotate, or whatever I need to do with this particular shape. I'll go ahead and delete that. This time, let's go to our ellipse tool. The ellipse tool works in a similar fashion, and by the way, I hope you've been paying attention to the cursor here. You see I have a little circle at the end of my mouse? If I go back to the rectangle tool, it turns into a little rectangle, so you always know which tool you have selected. It's kind of handy. So the ellipse tool allows you to draw ellipses. If you want to constrain it and create a perfect circle, let me go ahead and delete both of these. Hold down Shift on the keyboard. The same applies, of course, to the rectangle tool. Hold down Shift to draw a perfect square. Now let's go ahead and talk about the polyline tool. The polyline tool works in a similar fashion to the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. For example, if I click my mouse, I create what's known as a point. You don't receive a line until you have more than one point. Think of it as a train path. You're going to ride the train from one point to another. So here's where you get on the train, and you click here, and now we have a path. So this is one point and a second point. I can click again to continue drawing out this shape, and I can click anywhere. To close this shape, move your mouse until you see the little circle. Normally, you want to go to the very first point that you put down on the paper in the first place, or rather the drawing space. So I'm going to click, and now I've closed this shape. I can fill it in with a color or whatever I need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually undo this now and show you something else really cool. The polyline tool also allows you to draw curves. So instead of clicking and moving your mouse and clicking, you're going to click and hold the mouse down and pull the mouse to create a curve using these tangent handles here. I can go over here and do the same thing. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. Depending on which way you drag is the way the curve will go. The way it normally works is the curve will go in the opposite direction in which you pull. For example, if I want the curve to bulge this way, I have to pull down. So watch, I'll click, move my mouse down, and the curve will go that way. I'm going to click this time, and I'll click here, I'll pull up, and the curve will bulge down. So the polyline tool takes a little bit of mastery. You just have to practice with it. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. And last but not least, we have our line tool. The line tool will draw straight lines. Nothing very fancy about that at all. If I hold down the Shift key, I'm able to draw in 15-degree increments. So those are the tools that you can use to create very simple shapes. But from these shapes, you can create anything as long as you use the selection tool and the other tools to modify the shape.